Hello everybody, this is a Lamley showcase. A light summer rain on the Colorado River with the red rocks of southern Utah, which is probably not geographically an ideal spot to feature some historic Japanese cars, but that's what I'm gonna do today. This is what I've got. This is the location I'm at. And while probably best to show these where there's classic Japanese cars, and I don't know how many are in Moab, but I'm nearby, I'm going to show them here today to give you a sense of this beautiful summer location. So we'll get right to it and feature some classic Japanese cars. Japan Historics 4 from Hot Wheels. Let's get to it. Let's go in reverse order. This is number 5. I think the whole thing with it, car culture is done where it was like the new model was always number 5. And then if there was a second new model, that'd be number 4. That seems to be over because number 1 and 2 are the new models. I'll show you the back. These are the models. There is the, I assume this is going to be in stores soon. The rain is picking up. You might go, why are you doing this in the rain? Well, we're going to open these, of course, right? And put them on the turntable for the showcase. But yeah, I didn't expect it to be raining. And if it gets too crazy, I'll stop. Nonetheless, this is, and here's something that's so cool about this, is the artwork is a return to the cherry blossom style of Japan Historics. Well, they've all had I think it was Japan Historics 3 didn't have the cherry blossoms. They might have been shown up subtly. They're there somewhere in, I guess in every card, if I'm remembering correctly. And I'll do a video where I compare all the sets. We'll do that soon. It is starting to pick up. But nonetheless, we get a very Japanese art from Julian Coyles and his design team, which is very, very cool. And then we also get something really cool where they have taken the name of the car and actually done it in Japanese. Now, if you can't read it, you can always look at the back. And this is the Mazda RX-3, but ultimately this is quite cool this way. I mean, it is very much Japanese and Japanese historics. This is the Mazda RX-3, casting that debuted in the very first mix of Japan Historics way back when, 2016, I think it was. But this one takes that style, that modified style that the RX-3 has had since its beginning. It hasn't changed, but they gave it a very cool Liberty Walk deco. And this one fits very nicely in with that Liberty Walk modified look. And so it makes a ton of sense to do this. Obviously, a lot of the Liberty Walk, like modified classic Japanese cars, kind of stay true to some of the elements of those cars. And this one definitely fits within that with the wide body kit and everything else. Like the wheels do look small, especially the way they've done it with the black trim around the wheels. I think if they redesign this now, they do smaller wheels, but this one works the way they've done it, especially with the 4-spoke. So this is a nice addition to that set. Next one. All right, this is one that started basic just a year or two ago, and now, I think just a year ago, and now is premium. This is the number 4 model. This is the 73 Honda. You can look at the bottom here. 73 Honda Civic, I guess I have to make sure. 73 Honda Civic Custom. Really nice to see this one the way it was done, very clean last year. It's got kind of a racing version in basic now, but in premium here with these small Watanabe rims. I was talking about the small rims, doing a small rims on the RX-3. It really works here with this Honda. I absolutely love the Honda Civic. I love the classic Honda Civic. And this one done, while it's custom, obviously a little bit around the wheels and some other elements, you know, the front area, the no bumpers, that sort of thing, make it custom, but it definitely has classic elements. That silhouette is there. The details are there. Absolutely. I mean, I'm gonna have to figure out what I like best, and I think the historic nature of the Skyline, the Prince Skyline, is gonna make it the number 1 from this set. But between this and the Corolla here, we'll see in a second, these are definitely historics. Classics for sure, classic Honda, classic Toyota. And I absolutely love this one as a JH4 model. I think it's just a perfect fit. Actually, all of these are really. Slight modifications, but still very much within either the stock or factory elements of these cars. And the modifications are very Japanese as well, so it fits really nicely. That's how I look at it. All right, next one. All right, I may have mentioned this one in the sneak peek video because we had this in the sneak peeks vid I did a couple weeks ago. This is the number 3 of 5. Love the Japanese text here. It is the Nissan Fairlady Z casting we've seen a while, quite a bit actually, and this one gets a dark blue. And as I mentioned in the sneak peek video, I don't think this was by accident, because we have had a black Porsche 911 that has a certain Wangan Midnight vibe to it, and this seems like an unofficial salute to the Devil Z, is my thought. Especially coming in the Japan Historics 4. If it were in some other range, maybe I wouldn't think about that as much, but considering this is a Japan Historics model, it seems to kind of be a little bit of a shout out to that set. So this one is nice. Casting we've seen before. It's been in Japan Historics, I think 2 as well, in plain yellow. This one comes in plain blue with the black bolt-ons. I think that looks nice. Ultimately, it's probably the least interesting outside of its reference, but I still think it's a really beautiful model. All right, moving on. All right, let's get on with the new castings. 2 new castings in this set. Obviously, we get a chase with one of them. And Skylines are always the most popular, but I'm very curious how collectors will react to a Prince Skyline versus a Nissan Skyline. I know it's essentially the same thing, but I don't know. It's always interesting to see how we as collectors behave and what we like and what we don't. But I'm always wondering what's going to be the most popular model, and I just have a feeling there's going to be a lot of interest in this one. Well, I think there's going to be a lot of interest in all of them. This is the 72 Toyota Corolla 11, another Corolla. We've seen the A86 done properly for premium and basic over the last few years, and now this is a great, great addition. One of the things that Japan Historics does is afford the Hot Wheels team to dive a little deeper into Japanese cars. We've seen the Laurel, the C210, some other castings, well, obviously the Cosmo, the first generation Nissan Silvia. This Corolla fits in that, but it also has a certain hype and vibe to it too, as far as JDM goes. And I think this one, again, with the smaller rims that we've been seeing of late, really plays into that Japanese style that I think we're going to dig. And plus, it looks really good with this red rock background, does it not? Anyway, Phil Reelman design. Phil has been around a long time, actually designed the R34. He's more known for the drag bus and some other classic off-road, well, I mean, all kinds of castings. Phil did this one for premium. He does most of his work in 143 now, and some other, I mean, he's been all over the place. He's been around for a long time. Sorry, Phil, don't mean to emphasize how long you've been around, but you have, and you do some amazing work in this. Toyota Corolla 11 is one of those for sure. Dig, dig, dig the small rims, like I said. The style of this one, it's just something that you're going to walk by at the, say, the Japanese Classic Car Show, and you will not be able to just walk on by. And that's the vibe this one has. The orange color is just kind of perfect. I'm just really digging this one. Okay, one more new model, and it is historic for sure. Not only is it historic in terms of it's an old car from 1964, but this might be the most relevant when it comes to Japanese racing. There's been a lot, we can talk about that, of relevant cars and historic famous designs. But this one, when it comes to racing, there might be nothing more iconic than this one. Obviously, Prince Skyline 64, Prince Skyline GT, racing car that was made famous by holding its own versus a Porsche back in the 60s. GT, or Japanese circuit racing, I think it was a Japanese circuit racing race. You can see a lot on YouTube about this, but this exact car, number 39 in blue, Prince Skyline, held its own against a Porsche, including passing it for a little bit of the race. That just created such a pride in Japanese racing, kind of instigated the interest in Japanese race cars, and really just set off a whole world of Japanese race cars that we see today, right? That has just gone from super silhouettes and GT racing, all that kind of stuff. A lot is owed to this actual Skyline in blue, number 39, and it's so awesome to see this done by Hot Wheels. So when I talk about collectors, I'm always like, well, Skylines are always the cars that go, and this is a different kind of Skyline, right? It's just not, you know, you've got Ken Mary and the Hakosuka, those are iconic. You obviously have the R32, 33, and 34, which have been popular with collectors. This one is a different kind, but I hope it becomes, I mean, there's a lot that appreciate this car already, But I hope that for those that, you know, this is what did it for me. I think it was a Tomica Limited vintage version release of this car that got me interested. And then I actually saw a replica of it at JDM Legends here in Salt Lake City. You learn about it and you just gain certain appreciations for certain cars. So when you hear things like, JDM hype, that kind of all fades away when you see how cool and how interesting this car is. Or maybe you just blame it for all the JDM hype now, I have no idea. But we're talking about a 1964 car, so it's been old, but it has a lot of history to it. They've given this one some love. The artwork is great, the car is great, and of course, it is the chase. So all black, they removed the racing livery. I wonder if that was something that Nissan requested, but they did that with the Corolla as well. So yeah, so now you have these two. You have this really cool black chase, which then kind of gives it, I don't know how much the race car versus the actual stock Skyline, print Skyline. So you could say this is a black version, but it's still very modernized with the Watanabe rims on it and everything else. It's a nice chase. For Japan Historics, it's definitely the number 39 Prince that is the significant car here. There you go. I'll let you take in the scenery. Very, very nice set. This geography has nothing to do with Japan Historics, but bear with me. And it's so quiet here right now that I'm getting a nice echo off of these cliffs. I don't know if you noticed, there's actually a train track here right above me here too. Kind of hard to see, but it's there. All right, you guys tell me what you think. What are you most interested in? What cars are you going to pick up? Hopefully all of them. I've got another video with comparing all of the Japan Historics, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That'll come later, but this was a fun one though. Thanks everybody. Bye.